Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast. Finals for NHL NBA edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who's disappointed that Connor McDavid is not holding the Stanley Cup. Here's Chris.
Dang straight, Stuart. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it a few times on our prior podcast. I wanted Connor McDavid, which he did. He hoisted the Four Nations trophy. Awesome. But then I said, what an amazing feat it would be to hoist the Four Nations trophy and Lord Stanley. But apparently those were not in the cards.
Those were not in the cards indeed. And
good news for him, though. The Four Nations was more watched than the Stanley Cup Final. So he won the more viewed event, I suppose.
Wow.
Good for him.
Good for him. And also, and now we got a gentleman right over here who still wants a refund because of Tyrese Halliburton's injury. Here's Douglas.
Yes, dude, that was hard to watch for sure, man. I mean, obviously as a fan, it sucked because you won a great Game 7. As a person, it sucked because you never want to see somebody's season end like that, especially when he had one of the greatest runs of probably postseason history. If they would have won that Game 7, it probably would have been number one.
This would be the greatest comeback ever in all sports. Would it probably maybe top 5.
Yeah, there was a guy in Ohio that bet, I think, $8 million to win like $1 million on the Thunder. So, man,
that's not bad.
Got $8 million.
Okay, that's
what a shame, man.
I just gotta say this. I know that person has FU money. Why are you spending $8 million on stupid stuff?
But honestly, so the Thunder, best record in the NBA, top team overall. And like Doug mentioned in our previous podcast, they should be able to have a small little dynasty going forward. So I mean, money well spends $8 million to win $1 million. If you have that kind of throwaway money with the Oklahoma City Thunder, yeah, I mean that's a good bet to take for sure.
Yes, indeed. But now we got to talk about the quickest one right here. When we were doing our podcast last week, Florida was up 3-0. Then Florida scored another goal, and then it went to 5-1.
Yeah, it's kind of a dud of a series, in all honesty. Like, I mean, it started off good, but just it didn't capture.
Sorry to interrupt you, Doug. What game? So we're talking live on the podcast.
Game 6.
So it was Game 6. Okay, gotcha. That was my question.
And then you said that we're going to start doing the eulogy for the Oilers, which we are going to do the Oiler eulogy.
There we go.
I guess we should start with the champions right now. The back-to-back repeat in Florida was more dominant, I feel like, this series than last series. We got to talk about this Florida team who's now made it to 3 finals and won 2 cups in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they were dominant, no doubt about that. I mean, I don't know. It was a shame. Well, I'll stay on the Panthers. It was really nice to see Kachuk win again. And like, honestly, who won the Finals MVP? Which one of them was it? Barkov?
It was it Barkov? Because he had 4 goals in game. Yeah, he had 4 goals in Game 6, which clinched him the series MVP.
Oh, nice.
Was it Barkov?
I can look it up.
Or it was Reinhardt. It might have been Reinhardt. I don't remember though.
Oh, Sam Bennett.
Sam Bennett.
So none of
that's how good they were. We didn't even mention Matthew Tkachuk in there. I mean, that's a very deep, well-constructed roster, and they have obviously elite goaltending, as we talk about every episode. Do you miss him, Chris?
With our boy Stuart. Who's the Panthers goaltender?
Sergei Bobrovsky.
That's
People
right.
from Ohio down to Florida seem to have a high success rate.
So did Sergei Bobrovsky play for the Philadelphia Flyers at one point, right?
I think he played for the Flyers, but I think he went Flyers, then Jackets, and then went to Florida.
Because there was one picture online. It was Sergei Bobrovsky giving like a peace sign, and the caption was, "Thank you so much, Philadelphia Flyers. Thank you so much, Columbus Blue Jackets." So that means both those teams let him go, which we know the Blue Jackets let him go. So I was like, man, so he must have at one point in his career played for the Flyers. and now he's won back-to-back Stanley Cups with the good Florida Panthers.
All right, gentlemen, would you guys say that offense wins championships or defense wins championships in the NHL more? Like, what's the more important? Is it scoring more goals or is it just elite defense? Because Florida kind of did both here. I mean, one goal, two goals, one goal, but they're also putting up 6 goals, 5 goals, 5 goals. It's like they're doing it on both sides of the game there.
I think, honestly, I would say I think you have a great goalie. I think that's honestly one of those things that could help you.
Chris, you disagree, so I would like
so I'm going to disagree with you, Stuart, because this series alone, 2025, Panthers-Oilers, I mean, like Doug just mentioned, I mean, it was Game 1, 7 total goals. Game 2, 9 total goals. Game 3, 7 total goals. Game 4, 9 total goals. Game 5, 7 total goals. And Game 6, the lowest scoring game of the first of the series, which still had 6 goals. So maybe it's not defense. Maybe it is offense. I'm trying to look up what happened in 2024.
Well, I guess, too, to further go on this, though, is the difference, the goalie here, though, because if Stuart Skinner, with all due respect, Stuart, what the hell? If Stuart was better, then maybe we have a better series here. But Stuart kind of stunk the whole thing up there.
Stuart Skinner, was it? Didn't they have another goalie in there for the
Oilers? Stuart Skinner in Game 5, and they got obliterated.
Yeah, didn't they have pushing back and forth between tenders?
Yeah,
and neither one worked out for him.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of a last-minute Hail Mary, and it just did not work for them. I mean, I guess we should ask. I remember last year. I totally remember this. I did not watch the podcast last year. Maybe it's been like a while since the last year I looked at the podcast. So much better now this year than last year. I will say this. Last year's podcast of us was trash. I'm just saying, in my opinion. For me.
Dude.
I'm just saying, I think we're improving.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I mean, yeah, the only way to go is up and improve it. So that's what we're doing. Heck yeah.
Yes. But it was interesting that Fyodor, and I totally remember this. You said, do you think the Florida Panthers are going to go back and win the Stanley Cup again?
What was our response for that, Stu?
If I'm trying to remember correctly, photographic memory, I said, we got to see how the drafts, the players, let's see how the same thing. Now, I'm going to ask you, Fyodor, are the Florida Panthers going to three-peat it?
We mentioned this on last week's podcast about a dynasty. Oh, man.
And it's a
team
tough.
From Florida. Teams from Florida, they've won the last 6 out of 7?
Yeah, they won.
No, they won the last.
Well, they've won 4 out of 5.
Let's see, it's been Florida, Vegas, Colorado, Tampa Bay. So the last 4 out of 6. So can the Florida Panthers do it again, make it a three-peat? Oh, man, honestly, I'm going to say no, just because what's a chance of an NHL team three-peating? But I mean, but I'm also trying to think of a team.
It was the Islanders, I should say.
I'm also trying to think of a team that could go against and match up with the Florida Panthers, because Florida Panthers are looking hot right now. So my answer is no, but I'm leaning towards yes, but strongly no. What about you, gentlemen? What do you guys think?
I mean, that's a tough part. I mean, we haven't had a three-peat since the Islanders in the 80s. I think it was 80, 81, and 82. We haven't had a three-peat right there.
I mean, I'll say no.
The Red Wings almost did it they did it twice in a row, 97, 98. That was close. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard feat to do, obviously, and it's just hard to imagine, because, I mean, to truly win the Stanley Cup, you need to have so many things bounce your way, too. I mean, it's like one of those things where, like, we kind of saw the Chiefs had a lot of things bounce their way this year, and then the one time they didn't, they just got obliterated. And it's hard to stay healthy this long, this many years in a row. I mean, that'd be 4 straight years in the Stanley Cup Finals.
And if you think about it, Douglas, they're playing an extra month of hockey.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the Four Nations, the Olympics, like these dudes are going to start getting tired.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's hard to imagine. I mean, granted, they have a lot of their core coming back though. So, I mean,
that's the one
they
thing.
have the talent to do it. They certainly have the talent.
So yeah, the New York Islanders, they won back to back 4 years in a row, 1980, 1981, 1982, 1983. And then from 1984 through 1988, the Oilers won 4 out of 5 Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
man. Back to our main question. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. If the Panthers gonna win 3 in a row,
it is crazy.
Well, I mean, and some of these teams that are close might take that extra swing too. You know, like if you're a Colorado, you might throw in a little bit more. If you're a Dallas, if you're, you know, one of these teams, if you're Edmonton, maybe you'll get like one more. Like a lot of these teams are going to do something extra to try to catch up to Florida. And, you know, I don't know. You can't outpace.
Yeah, because like piggybacking off, you mentioned Colorado. Man, when we talked about NHL in our previous podcast during the first round, I was high on Colorado because they have Cole McCarr. I forgot the other guy's name.
Nelson Kadri?
Yeah, I was high on. What was that, Stu?
Oh, I was thinking Nelson Kadri, but I don't think he plays for Colorado anymore.
No, I'm thinking of Nathan McKinnon.
Oh, yeah, Nathan McKinnon. Yeah, right on target. Yeah, I was high on the Avalanche, and then what they lost in the first or second round. So yeah,
they're out there. Yeah, they're
it's what's going to happen. Well, what team is going to add that extra punch to go full swing so the Panthers don't win 3 years in a row? You know,
I mean,
the Detroit Red Wings. Let's go.
You'd be lucky if you make a postseason. I'm just saying.
I mean, wait, who's the GM for the Red Wings?
Steve Yzerman.
Because I remember there's a whole podcast that you guys mentioned, like Steve Yzerman needs to do it right now. So
he needs to do it. So we're going all in. Long story short, who's more likely to make the playoffs next year? In the
Eastern Conference Finals next year for the NHL.
Yeah,
Panthers versus Detroit Red Wings
versus the Blue Jackets. Let's do it. No, but actually, that's a good question. Do you think next year will the Blue Jackets or the Red Wings make a postseason, or is this going to be the same where we just do a midseason and then?
I mean, if we're gonna we're not putting money on it unless you guys want to, but
no.
This be a way too early bet. I don't think the Blue Jackets will make it, but I definitely see. I don't know about definitely. That's a strong word, but I do see the Red Wings making the playoffs next year for sure.
Well, something that the Red Wings and the Oilers have in common, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, is they don't have that grit, man. So disappointing to watch. Like in the big moments, they all fall short, and it's just extremely frustrating. It was hard to watch McDavid do absolutely nothing in these finals. Yeah. Like he's just so passive out there. Like, bro, you're the best player on the planet. Shoot your shot. You know, like Tyrese Halliburton, when he was shooting, they were winning. I think the same thing's true for McDavid. Like, where were the goals at? How many goals did he have won in the whole finals?
I believe, what was it, Connor McDavid? Oh, that's a good question.
I think he had one goal.
Can you look that up real quick? I know Connor McDavid at least had one goal.
Yeah,
because I remember,
like, come on, man.
I think it was through the first 2 games of the series, Connor McDavid had like 5 points. But I think they were all assists.
I'll say I don't care if you're a good passer, bro. Cool, you're setting up other people to score. Like, do we remember the best wingman, or do we remember the best? Nobody remembers the wingman.
Because based off goal scorers. I mean, we can move to Alexander Ovechkin. What he has 900. What it doesn't matter, but like we'll remember Alexander Ovechkin. I'm sure we'll remember Connor McDavid just because of the name, but we'll remember Alexander Ovechkin because he knows how to score goals. He puts it like he slaps it from the left side of the rink.
Oh,
Connor McDavid, dude. Like
some of Stewart's previous takes. I mean, I think if
I looked it up
he will.
I will say I looked it up on my greatest resource, the Chat GPT. And Connor McDavid has scored 7 goals this season in the playoffs.
Wait.
Just
no,
the Stanley Cup Final.
How about in the Stanley Cup Final? Can you search Mr. Chat GPT?
I think it was just one in the final.
In the Stanley Cup Finals against Florida, McDavid wins 0 goals in all 6 games.
0 goals? Really? Wow.
I thought he at least had 1.
I thought he had 1.
No, wait. I feel like I might be wrong. I feel like that ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT is wrong.
I have the 4.0 version. I'm like, wait a minute. I think he got at least, it was like one goal. Wait a minute. We can actually, I think he got like a goal, but it was like a nothing burger goal. We can look up.
I think it was when they were like losing by like.
Oh, yeah. Game 5, guys. Game 5. Connor McDavid puts a goal in the net.
Yeah, but that's
to make
like
the goal to make the game 3-1. But it was already a losing effort. So that's at least one goal. That was game 5.
I don't think he did.
Game 4, he had nothing.
Game 6,
he's
more.
He's more
nothing. 4 was nothing. 1 was nothing, and
I don't know, man. I don't like all the hype here. There was like how the NBA did the most overrated and underrated players. Halliburton somehow got rated as the most like overrated player in the entire NBA, and then almost won the finals by his peers too. By other players in the NBA, they rated like most overrated, most underrated. I think Cade Cunningham was the most underrated, and he lost in the first round. And then, but it's like, bro, like to me, McDavid has to be the most overrated. It's like McKinnon. I mean, super quick, puts up numbers, won a Stanley Cup.
Now, I will say, sorry.
Go ahead, Stu. Go ahead. I'm listening.
We should probably continue the eulogy talking about the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, sorry. I was going to piggyback off of like Connor McDavid being overrated. I don't want to say he's too overrated.
I mean, he made it to the finals twice. I'll give him.
Overrated is relative, though. If we're saying like one of the greatest of all times, and dude puts up one goal in a dud of a loss, like
one goal in a 6-game series. Well, it's a 7-game series, but the series was finished in 6 games. Like that's not good. But like Connor McDavid, like he's like I like what you said, Doug, and I agree with that. But like he's a guy that will put up 2 points a game because he gets assists. But like we mentioned, I'm pretty sure it was last week's podcast or the previous weeks. It's like that's like if you're giving assists, that's not good because you want to be scoring goals. You want to be leading your team to a win, you know?
Yeah.
Now
it's a tough one. It's a tough one
indeed. And now we have Connor McDavid not getting any goal, not winning any cups. Now we got to talk about the other loser of the Edmonton Oilers, Corey Perry. I don't know if you know about this gentleman right over here.
Oh, yeah, Stuart. I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Say it, I think I know where you're going. Go ahead, Stuart. Sorry.
It has an interesting stat, and I remember your name tree showed the stat right over here. He made it. Congratulations to Corey Perry. So he has made it in the last 6 years. He has made it to 5 Stanley Cups finals, and he's lost all. In 2020, he was with the Dallas Stars, lost to the Lightning, then went to the Montreal Canadiens, lost the finals to the Tampa Bay Lightning, then went to Tampa and lost a game when he played in the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Colorado Avalanche. Didn't really matter because he then played with the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks are garbage, so no one really cares. And then he gets traded to the Edmonton Oilers. And now he has lost 5 Stanley Cup finals in a row.
I mean, yeah, that sucks.
So yeah, don't if you're gonna be on a team with Corey Perry, make sure like you're not trying to win the Stanley Cup then.
4 different teams.
I mean, trade him with the Red Wings if that means we'll make it to the finals. Like I would take making the playoffs.
Like that is so astronomical. Like I'm trying to think. That's like a 6% odds, right? 1 in 4 so that you will at least if you made it to 1 finals.
I mean, if you're going to straight probability. I don't know.
Yeah.
You said he lost it the last 5 out of the last 6 years.
Yeah.
That's worse than that's a 0% chance of winning.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But still,
well, I mean, the fact that he made it that many times, if you combine like all the factors of making it that many times and losing each time, because it's pretty unique to happen to be traded. It's kind of a cool.
It's more or less a strike of bad luck that he's on the team. It's definitely not just his fault because you have 4 lines, you have 20 players. Yes.
Let's go ahead and blame him. Maybe that's what'll make us viral.
Yeah,
It is
good job.
It's all his fault. That's what your name did.
You know what's funny? Like I oddly dislike Corey Perry because he used to, I believe, play for the Anaheim Ducks.
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
he was a pain in the neck against the Red Wings. Like I hated that guy early in his career. Like he put up some numbers and he was a player, man. Like I had respect. Like hate isn't the actual word; it was respect. But he was a thorn in the Red Wings side for years, though, when he was in Anaheim.
Yeah. So, which team will Corey Perry still play with that will basically go to the finals and lose again?
I mean, like Corey Perry, he's probably towards the end of his career, right?
Yes, he's 40 years old as of this recording right now.
And the last 2 seasons he's played with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes.
So, do you think? I mean, to answer your question, Stu, what team is he gonna? I don't think any team's really going to trade for him. I'd be shocked. So let's go Edmonton, making it from the West into the Stanley Cup next year again.
Florida, and they lose.
Oh no, not against Florida. Like I
That's
said,
what's happening here, gentlemen. Is this has replaced the NBA in like boringness? It's gonna be the same finals again for the next 5 years, and Edmonton will win one on some miracle, but that's about it.
Did we not mention that during last week's podcast? Like how we talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers, Golden State Warriors. That was 4 straight years. Warriors took 3 out of the 4 years.
Because I think we're also talking about like Game 7s, because like that was the last time that NBA Finals went to Game 7 was that Cavs comeback. So
yeah, in 2016.
Yeah,
good. I have a random question for you, gentlemen.
Yes, I do.
So you have Brad Marchand, correct? Has he won 2 Stanley Cups now?
I believe you.
Did he win one? Yeah, he probably won
He
one.
One in Boston, I think, one here. So I think he's won 2 cups.
Yeah.
You have Alex Caruso, who just won his second like championship in the NBA. Who is a better like player, I guess, like in their respective sport? Do we have it's kind of cool, like 2 players that have been on multiple teams, winning championships, being kind of a pivotal player. Both had like really nice kind of moments and stepped up and kind of gave their team a spark. Who do you think was more pivotal to their team success?
Brad
Marchand or Mr. Alex Caruso?
I'd say Brad Marchand. Alex Caruso made a comment. I don't remember the exact wordage or verbiage, but he made a comment that he's like, oh, now I know what an actual ring feels like. Mm-hmm. I know he won with the Los Angeles Lakers, but that was in the bubble at Walt Disney World. So was that an actual championship?
It's a Mickey Mouse trophy.
It's still a championship. Don't get me wrong. But like when there's no fans in the stands, oh man. So
I'd go Brad Marchand as a better player too. Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy for Brad Marchand. It took him 14 years until he got another cup.
Yeah, I'll say Marchand's done over like a longer period of time too. So I thought they were like similar comparisons. So I was just curious on.
Honestly, I like the comparison. And Alex Caruso, I do not see him leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder. And like you guys mentioned on last week's podcast about there being a dynasty in OKC. So I think Alex Caruso, even if the Thunder don't win it next year, I think they'll win it. I think the Thunder will win it at least once out of the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So another question then: who's more likely to be a dynasty in 5 years, the Thunder or the Panthers? Who are going to be more likely to remember them as a dynasty in like 5-7 years time?
I think probably the Panthers, because they came from but they also the Lightning. But I guess we got to see how the Lightning do in the next.
Well, we're not talking about the Lightning here, Stuart. We're talking about the Panthers or the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'm sorry. Like, is the Thunder going to be still? I know they still got most of their players, and they're still going to keep them, and they still got that. They're still doing well, but like,
yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. The Thunder though, I think are like. I don't know. It'll be interesting because it could be either one in all honesty. Because the Thunder are set up to be an absolute dynasty.
Yes.
Like Florida might be at the tail end of their championship run here, so we'll see.
We'll see indeed. And now, we're done with one championship done. We had a great Game 6.
Great.
What do you mean it's a great Game 6?
Yeah, it was kind of a
Pacers
terrible.
lost by 17.
I mean, it was a great comeback for Game 6. But
It was fun. Like, it was fun from like a narrative perspective.
yeah, I mean, in the sense of narratives. But then we got to talk about Game 7. Tyrese Halliburton, that injury. Game 7.
Well, I mean, he got injured in Game 6, and then the injury just went on from Game 6 to Game 7, in which really, he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, so that might.
I mean, to be honest, what was the final score? 103-91. Yeah, there it is. I wish we can see in a parallel universe, because I can almost guarantee you, if Tyrese Halliburton was not injured, he went out with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. If he was healthy, I could see the Pacers winning Game 7 or making it more close than a 12-point spread.
Well, yeah, I mean, and 12 points was light. I mean, Oklahoma City in the third quarter, they start pouring it on. Like, all kudos to the Pacers. I mean, they kept it a good game through the half. They went into the half with the lead. But then the Thunder showed why they're the best defensive team. TJ McConnell tried as hard as he could, man. I don't know if you guys watched him in the third quarter, but dude was putting up buckets. Like, he scored like several in a row, was like hitting shots over people, like, but he just ran out of steam, man. I mean, he's not a volume scorer, and the Thunder made adjustments and shut him down, and then it was kind of ball game there. The Pacers didn't have a go-to guy like Halliburton, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 14-point difference in the third quarter.
Yeah, the third quarter.
Yeah, that was a difference maker. But yeah, man, I know Halliburton. I think he only averaged like 17 points a game, and he had 9 points in the first quarter. He was going off in the first quarter. So if he didn't get injured, man, he was on target for a 30-point game, if not a little bit more than that. But man.
Well, and that's the hardest part, too, is he was playing so well in the first quarter. Like, he wasn't aggressive. Like, in one of those games, he had, 2 points in Game 5 or something crazy. And everyone was calling him overrated and everything. And then, so he came out swinging in Game 7. Like, what a shame.
It's just a shame. I just feel like it's like, man, and like the Halliburton. And it's also like, man, if you're a Pacers fan, you never hold the NBA championship as a Pacer. And this is the closest.
Did they win it with Mr. Reggie Miller?
No, I think they only made it to one finals, right? In their entire series, right?
Yeah, they got swept by the Lakers.
Yeah, because
I wonder Reggie Miller. I saw him on the sideline so happy when they won. I think they won Game 5 or something in Indiana. But man,
it's just like, man,
one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. Keyword one of them.
So, I guess for further team's perspective, like, I mean, obviously Halliburton going down like this is about the worst case scenario. Probably going to miss most of next year. It's wild, man. These Achilles stink, because then we are talking before this about Tatum popping his Achilles too. It's like now the Celtics are just blowing up their team because they pretty much realize that they're not going to be competitive next year. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Pacers do now. It's like, you still have a nice team, but I mean, without Halliburton, maybe you're fighting for a playoff spot even, or like a 6-7 seed. Like, there's a lot of good teams coming. So it's like, this might have been their shot. Unfortunately, they might have, a lot of moves coming with this big injury.
Yeah. That's
also, don't forget that the top 10 teams out of 12 or 13 making it in the playoffs. I know there's a play-in or whatever you call it, but yeah.
Well,
I mean, they have Pascal Siakam, which we see right here on the screen, which is an amazing player. But yeah, I mean, you got to have the 1-2 punch. So like the Cavs, they have Donovan Mitchell, and then we have Mr. Evan Mobley. The Pistons, they have.
We have Cade and Duran and Ivy. I mean, they're not real. Cade Cunningham, though, a lot of people think he's a borderline top 10 player right now, which he needs to develop a tad more. Like, he got a little bit too rushed. But the NBA is going to be interesting, man. Like, Durant already got traded to the Houston Rockets. And then today they were talking about how the Mavericks next year might be the biggest threat to the Thunder, because they get Cooper Flag and healthy Kyrie and Anthony Davis. And
plus Kyrie Irving just signed a 4-year a lot of millions of dollars with the Mavericks, so he's there to stay.
Yeah, you bring in Cooper Flag, and they're going to be fun.
Unless you're Clippers hands, and then you talk about the James Harden situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you talk about trading SGA for, pretty much it feels like nothing at this point for Paul George, and you're like, the Clippers are sitting there in just absolute purgatory as they do.
So, a question for you, gentlemen: do you guys see the Oklahoma City Thunder? I'm not going to say, or the outlandish question would be, do you guys see them repeating, or a dive down to that question, making it to the NBA Finals?
Oh, do you think they're going to be like the Denver Nuggets, like one and done?
I mean, my gut tells me they're going to repeat, man. I mean, they were the second youngest champion of all time, and like these dudes are just heading into their prime. Like, if they can stay together, which they seem like such a selfless team, like they like pull all their players into the interviews, like they seem like just a tight knit group, and if they can keep that group together, man, I mean, shoot, they won 68 games. They had the best minus margin in NBA history, an amazing defensive rating, and like Chet and Jalen Williams are like 22 and 23, and like this team has so much room to grow still. It's scary, and they have so many draft picks where they could swing those into, another elite player or two and extend their championship window. Like, as good as like the Rockets might be with Durant or anybody else, I think it's still the Thunder versus the field for sure. Like they're
so you guys are feeling confident about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who do you think is the most I can't think of the word, most competitive with the Thunder from the West?
Well, one more quick thing on the Thunder is they did a stat of like SGA compared to MJ, and like, dude, the stats were like wildly similar. Like, I don't think we appreciate how truly good this dude is. But I mean, I don't know. My heart tells me though the Mavericks are the biggest threat. Oddly enough, like I think their combination of everything, and I liked the takes I heard today. Like I just truly think that they gave the Thunder some trouble this year, and they're only going to be a ton better with the aforementioned names earlier of Cooper Flag and a healthy Kyrie and Anthony Davis getting healthy, and like they got depth, they got length, and they have elite ball handling. And if Cooper Flag lives up to the hype of number one, man, they're going to be.
So yeah, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Thunder,
like Gafford, and they have all these other dudes. I think Lively, like and obviously they were just in the finals 2 years ago, and like they're probably going to be better, and they're going to be. They'd be my pick.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you guys see? Like obviously we're saying the Mavs, Thunder, top two teams, give or take, from the West of the NBA. What about the East?
Ooh,
that one's a lot more interesting because the
Celtics. The Celtics are gone. Then who is? I don't know if.
For some reason, I had no idea that Tam he's gonna be out all next year.
Most of it. Them today they traded Porzingis and they traded Drew Holiday. So it's like those are two pillars of their teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're left with Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are your two best players, but you ain't going to be super competitive next year.
All right, I'm going to say it: the Cavaliers.
Ooh, I love to see it too because obviously diehard Cleveland fan, but Cavs need to do something. But I initially said it on one of the podcasts. I thought the Cavaliers, I thought their biggest competitor was the Celtics, and then I remember I definitely mentioned it on one of the podcasts. Watch out for the Indianapolis Pacers. So
yeah, I think it's hard to know in the East because I think there's still some trades kind of to come. Like if Giannis gets traded to someone, like there's a lot of like noise that he might go to like Toronto when I was last looking, or so like if Giannis is on the move, he instantly kind of takes a team from like good to great. The Knicks are going to be really solid next year too. If they can find the right coach to give them that culture where they were close. My heart wants to say the Pistons, but like I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't just like a fluky year because like I do think that the Pistons have good pieces, but I don't know. I think it'd have to be the kind of Knicks in the driver's seat, rightfully so.
I didn't follow the Pistons too much. They have a young team, right? Like Jalen
They're
Durant
very
young.
They're very young. I mean, and they could turn a corner. I mean, they gave the Knicks obviously a heck of a series. Like every game came down to the wire, and I mean, so it's like they're not terribly far off.
Yeah, they're not terribly far off, but we'll see. I mean, this is going to be an interesting. I think I'm very optimistic on the NBA. I feel like there's no like powerhouse teams. I know OKC Thunder's won it, but it's like I feel like there's a lot more parity now. It's not like the 2010s where it's just like Golden State and Cleveland. Oh, wait for it.
I mean, there's definitely a chance though. This Thunder team is like a straight dynasty though.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
like there is a good chance that we're going into like 4 or 5 years of Thunder in the finals type of thing. But like
I'll
maybe
take that
Anthony
over
Edmonds has something to say about it. Maybe the Lakers have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love to see the Thunder be a Western Conference dynasty. Maybe not winning the NBA Finals every single year, but if they make the finals every single year, being the Western Conference representative, awesome. Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, I guess that is there any other final thoughts you have to say, gentlemen?
Man, like there's nothing going on with sports. The Tigers are about to win, so like that's a good final thought.
Yeah, Tigers. What? They're still 20 games above 500, right?
They will be if they win today. They kind of laid a couple of eggs down in Tampa, but one of their players has had 2 assists from the outfield in the same inning, which was the first time a Tiger had done that in like 10 years. So that was kind of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're coming into Wimbledon season, and the British Open or whatever it's called. So like we might have to pivot here to golf or tennis or baseball.
I guess that is probably our next pivot, which is we gotta go take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowds. We're gonna talk about them Guardians and Tigers. We will see if they will make it to the playoffs, Guardians.
Heck yes, dude. I think a baseball.
I'm very confident with the Tigers making the playoffs. Guardians.
Oh yeah. Unless there's another
Guardians, not so much.
Well, hopefully the Tigers fare better in the playoffs than the Detroit Lions. That's what I'll say about that.
Yeah, we don't want one.
I mean, we're looking like we might be going for number 1 seed, but don't flake out in like the ALDS or something stupid if you make it.
Yeah, get knocked out of the ALDS by once. But yes, next week we're going to talk about the Tigers, the
Dodgers.
Are there any golf tournaments coming up next week or in the next 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, there's like some lower ones. I think the Open Championship in like Scotland or whatever is sometime in July. And Wimbledon, Wimbledon qualifying started this weekend or like today, I believe. It's like Wimbledon's going to get going under wraps here soon for tennis, which is always a good time.
So golfing, the Ryder Cup isn't the United States versus Europe or whatever?
Yeah, I think that's like an end of season thing though.
Okay, so no, it's not coming up anywhere close right now.
No, yeah, I mean I don't know for sure, but I think that's more of like a September, October type of tournament. So that'd be like football season, so we probably won't touch on it too much.
Yeah, definitely not.
No, but anyway, that is pretty much it for this week's podcast. We got to shorten it up this week. Woohoo! I mean, let's be honest, this was a short podcast this week.
I mean, hey, we've been averaging 40, 45 minutes for the past few weeks. Nothing bad about that. Here we go. And
Let's
as always,
the reflection on the views, gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes in the views. So as always, gentlemen, I'm going to catch you later, Mr. Gator. So as always, take care. Bye-bye.